with the weather warming finally, nice spring day out there and people looking to get outside safe and socially distanced, ways to get outside with maybe friends and family. Backyard fires starting to become more and more popular for the next few months. But if you live in the city of Grand Rapids, did you know the basic laws about those recreational fires and even if they're allowed? Here to give us a refresher, Tom Sinus, attorney Tom Sinus of the Sinus Dramus Law Firm. First and foremost, are those recreational fires allowed in city limits in Grand Rapids, Tom?
Well, thanks, Derek. It is a good time of year to talk about this. And the short answer to your question is yes, but, with a big but. And the but here is that people within the city of Grand Rapids cannot have recreational fires without first obtaining a permit from the city. And the permit process is one that may be a bit more involved than people would think at first blush. So you not only, of course, have to pay an application fee, but you also have to submit with your application a site plan. And the site plan has to identify things like where you're going to put the fire, the property lines, the fence lines, the locations of other buildings, the locations of overhead wires. You also have to, if you're a renter, you have to have written permission from the property owner to make an application for a fire pit. And once you make that application, the city manager will review it and will then give 21 days to all of your neighbors within 120 feet. And your neighbors then have an opportunity to object to your request for a fire permit. And so it's only once you've gone through the application process, the permitting process, and once you're given an application that you can then have a recreational fire on your property. And then, of course, there are a bunch of other rules that apply under the city ordinance about how you can conduct the actual fire itself.
Yeah, let's kind of touch on some of those. What are some of the basic rules under that ordinance of the city of Grand Rapids, Tom?
Well, there's kind of a long list, but some of the key ones are you can only burn dry firewood. You can only burn between 7 a.m. and 10 o'clock. There has to be an adult 18 years or older present at all times while the fire is burning. You can burn in a portable container or a fire pit, but it has to meet certain size requirements. For example, it can't be larger than 3 feet wide, 3 feet deep, or 3 feet tall. It also has to be covered by a screen or a spark cover. Fires cannot be placed in the front yard. They're only in the backyard. And the fire itself or the fire container has to be 20 feet away from property lines, and it has to be 15 feet away from any overhead lines. And there are some other specific rules, but you get the idea here that once you get the permit, you have to actually conduct the fire in accordance with the permit, in accordance with these basic safety rules.
Yeah, good to know. It's a time of year to go outside and enjoy it. Good to know. Thanks, Tom. Where do people track you now for more information?
Well, they can find us online at www.sinusdramus.com. They can shoot us an email at info@sinusdramus.com or give us a call in West Michigan, 616-301-3333.
Good stuff as always. Thanks, Tom. See you next week.
Thanks, Derek.